Dear students, welcome to the English second paper class brought to you by Amar, ghore, Amar school. You know that the whole world has been infected with coronavirus. In this situation, the government has taken decision to shut down all institutions. However, Amar, ghore, Amar school has brought your classroom to your home through Sanshad Bangladesh television. So let's start today's class. The topic that we are going to learn today is present simple and present continuous tense. You may find this lesson in your book at Unit 2, Lesson 1, 2 and 3. As you can see in this picture, here we can see that in the first picture, there are three directions given. One is written as present, the second one is labeled as past, and the third one is labeled as future. On the other hand, in the second picture, we can see that time has been divided into three ways, going into three different directions. Again, they are labeled as past, present, and future. I'm sure that you have already understood what we are going to learn today. Yes, you're right. The topic that we are going to focus on today is tense. So what will be the learning outcomes of today's class? After today's class, you will have a clear idea about three different aspects of time. You're going to understand the uses of present simple and present continuous tense. You'll be able to write sentences correctly using the structure of present simple and present continuous. And lastly, you'll be able to ask and answer questions using present simple and present continuous tense. Now, what do we learn about tense? What do you know about tense? We know that tense refers to the time of action or state indicated by a verb. That means tense means the time when the action is happening or when the action will happen or happened. According to time references, there are three main tenses, and I'm sure that you know the names of the tenses that are at first the present tense, the past tense, and the future tense. Now, what is the present tense? Present tense refers to a present state or different modes of present action. That means if I'm doing an action now at the present, then it will be labeled as present tense. What is past tense? Past tense refers to past state or different modes of past action. That means whatever happened before now will fall into the category of past tense. And what is future tense? The future tense refers to the future state or different modes of future action. Whatever is going to happen after now will fall into the category of future tense. Now, you know that each of these tenses has four different aspects, and they are the simple, the continuous, the perfect, and the perfect continuous. In this unit, we are going to focus on some of the aspects of tense. At first, let's start with simple present, or it is also known as present indefinite tense. What is present simple tense? We use the present simple to talk about repeated actions or events, permanent states, and for universal truths. So as you can see in this picture, there is a line, and the line has been labeled as past, present, and future. And that means that the line that has been shown here, it is referring to three different tenses. And there are some crosses given here. The crosses are referring to the events that are happening. As you can see that the events are happening continuously. So this means it is indicating an action that is repeated. So to indicate a habitual or repeated action, we always use simple present tense. We use the simple present to express the idea that an action is repeated or usual. This action can be a habit, it can be a hobby, it can be a daily event, or something that often happens. Let's look at the examples. The first example is, Lisa drinks tea every morning. The second one is, My father gets up at 5 a.m. every day. And the third one is Jeet sleeps 8 hours every night. Now all these actions that are happening here, these are parts of someone's habit or daily activities. For this reason, we have used present simple tense in here. The simple present tense is also used to express general fact or universal truth. For example, in this line we can see that the line that has been shown in blue color is going straight. That means it is something that is true in all time. It's a universal truth. For this reason, we are going to use simple present tense in here. In simple present, a speaker makes statement about something that was true before, is true now, and will be true in the future. For example, the sun rises in the east, the earth moves around the sun, and the leaves of the trees fall in winter. In all these examples, what we can see in common? All these actions or events are a part of universal truth. It's a general fact. For this reason, we have used simple present tense in here. Simple present tense can also be used for permanent states or for present actions. Permanent states are situations or feelings which are not temporary. That means something that is permanent in nature. For example, I like him a lot. Sophie works as a travel writer. As you can see here, we have talked about Sophie's profession. Profession is something that is not temporary. That means she is doing it every day and it is a part of her daily life. This is our present action. For this reason, we have used simple present tense in here. The third example is they live in London, and the last one is the workers in the garments factories work very hard. All these events are happening in the present. They are part of present action. For this reason, we have used simple present tense in here. At first, we are going to look at the structure of using to be verb in simple present tense in case of affirmative, negative, and interrogative sentence. When we use to be verb, what is going to be the structure of affirmative sentence? In simple present tense, if you use to be verb in affirmative sentence, at first you are going to use the subject, then you are going to use the to be verb depending on the subject, and lastly you are going to use the object. For example, I am, you are, he, she, or it is, we, you, they are. So it's very easy to understand here that with first person singular number, that is I, we have used am. In case of first person plural number we have used are. In case of second person you, we have used are. On the other hand, in case of third person singular number he, she, or it, we have used the be verb is. And in case of they, since they are plural in number, for that reason we have used are. Now if you want to change it into negative, you're just going to add not after the to be verb. For example, I am not, you are not, she is not, we are not. So it's nothing very complicated. You just have to use not after the to be verb and the structure is going to be the same as before. But if we use the contraction form, that is the short form of not, you can use apostrophe. In case of interrogative sentence, what we have to do? If you want to pose a question, what we do? We usually put the to be verb at the beginning of the sentence, as in, am I, are you, is he, are we. In all these cases, we have used the punctuation question mark because these are interrogative sentences. Now let's see what's going to be structure if we are using action verb. In case of affirmative sentence, if you are going to use action verb, the sentence is going to start with the subject. For example, in positive form, you can see that the structure is given as subject plus V1. That means after the subject, we are using the present form of the verb. But there is a thing here. The thing that you have to remember is if the subject is third person singular number, for example, he, she, it, or any other singular subject, then we are going to use s, es at the end of the verb. For example, I like it, she likes it. Now, what's the difference between these two sentences? In the first example, I like it, the subject is first person singular number. For this reason, the verb that we have used is like. That means the present form of the verb like. But in the second one, she likes it, we can see that s has been added at the end of the verb like. Why is that so? Because the subject here is she, which is third person singular number. Now, if you want to make it into negative, what we are going to do? We are just going to add does not or do not. For example, here we can see that the sentence has started with the subject, then we have used do not or does not, and then V1. Since we already have does, we are going to lose the s or es after the verb in case of third person singular number. For example, I do not like it, she does not like it. Now in this sentence, what we can see, we have used do not and does not depending on the subject. When we have I, which is first person, we have used do not. When we have she, which is third person singular number, we have used does not. Since we already have does, we are going to omit the s or es after the verb like. So it is going to lose the s or es. So it's pretty simple. The thing that you have to remember is if you are going to use the short form or contraction form, do not forget to use the apostrophe. And now what is going to be in the question form or interrogative sentence? When we ask a question, we usually in simple present tense ask the question with do or does. For example, do you like it? Does she like it? So this is the same sentence that we have also used in present and negative. Just the structure has been different in here. So in this structure, what we can see, we have started the sentence with do or does, then we have put the subject, and at the end of the sentence, we have used the present form of the verb. Do not forget to use the question mark at the end. I hope you have understood simple present tense. Now it's time for present continuous. Now the word continuous itself is very clear that something is being continuing. That means something is happening. We use present continuous when the action is happening at the time of speaking. As a speaker, if I'm speaking now, the topic that I'm going to talk about, it is going to have the verb of continuous tense. For example, please be quiet, I'm working, let's go out now, it isn't raining anymore, I'm tired, I'm going to bed now, good night, and where's Mary? She's having a bath. Now all the verbs that have been used here in bold form, they are part of something that is being continued right now. That is happening right now at the moment of speaking. For this reason, we have used continuous form in here. Now, as you can see in this picture, there is a line given here, and you can see that in the present, there's a circle, and it has been labeled as the moment of speaking. So whatever is happening around me, at the moment of my speaking, that is going to be a part of present continuous tense. The present progressive is used for actions going on at the moment of speaking and for actions taking place only for a short period of time. Let's have a look at the example. He is not working at present. Is Suzanne cooking now? Now, in both these cases, at present and now, what does this mean? This means that this thing is happening right now, right at this moment. So if something is happening in a period around now, for example, now, at present, or at this moment, then we are going to use present continuous tense. For activities at the moment of speaking, we can also use present continuous, as in, I am solving a sum, the children are sleeping. In all these cases, what we have seen in common, all these actions are happening now, and we have used present continuous tense. Present continuous tense can also be used to talk about something which is changing, growing, or developing. Now, what we have to keep in mind is something that is growing, developing, development, growth, change. All these are a part of a continuous process. For this reason, we have used simple present tense in here. The children are growing up quickly. The climate is changing rapidly. Your English is improving. All these verbs that have been in here is a part of a continuous process, and it is something that will be happening for a period of time. For this reason, we have used present continuous tense in here. Now, in the second use, we can see for planned future action, we can also use present continuous tense. So, if I plan about something that will happen in the future, but that's a part of my plan. For this reason, we can also use present continuous tense. For example, we are going to start a new course next month. So, the aspect that we have been using here is future. But the tense, the structure that we have used is present continuous. So for any action that you're going to plan for future, you can also use present continuous tense. So let's see at a glance what we have learned today. We know that simple present expresses an action in the present. It is also used for actions that are repeated or habitual. The simple present also expresses general facts and universal truth. We have also learned that we use present continuous tense to talk about actions that are happening now, actions which are currently in progress, and for planned future actions. Now it's time for homework. You may find this homework at page number 29 in your prescribed book. Submit it to your teacher when the school reopens. The evaluation given by your teacher will be added to your continuous assessment. With this, we have come to the end of the class. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. If you have to watch this class again, go to our Facebook page, Amar Ghore Amar School, or you can watch it to our YouTube channel, Amar Ghore Amar School. Stay safe, stay at home.